Man is mortal. Man is not immortal. He is a good boy. He is not a good boy. Students, look, we got here two pairs of sentences. In the first pair, we see man is mortal, and when we have changed it into negative, it has become man is not immortal. Look, mortal, not immortal. And in the other hand, when we use not in the other sentence, in the other pair of sentence, it has also become a negative sentence. He is a good boy, and here he is not a good boy. What is the difference these two pairs of sentences? Man is mortal and man is not immortal. Here the meaning of these two sentences is the same, but they are of two types of sentence. The first type is an affirmative sentence, and the second one is man is not mortal, is negative. But they are referring to the same meaning. This pair of sentence, he is a good boy, he is not a good boy. When we make it negative, its meaning has almost completely changed. So when you are changing the sentence with changing the meaning, it's called conversion of sentence. And when you are changing the sentence but the meaning of the sentence remains the same, it's called transformation of sentence. So today we are going to discuss about not this, we are going to discuss about transformation of sentence. Today we are going to discuss about affirmative to negative. Students, almost every sentence has two types. Almost every sentence has two types. What are they? Are affirmative and negative. In Bangla they told ostibachok and netibachok. When you are making transformation, when you are transforming affirmative sentence to negative, you have to read about two rules. So the first rule is about a child, and the second rules we will discuss in the other class or this class if I get time. So in affirmative and negative, you have to memorize. You have to memorize this rule, this chart. It's a simple chart. You see, it's not very big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lucky 7. So you have to memorize only like 7 terms. And the terms I'm going to discuss here, only alone is the word only alone in the sentence what you are going to make into negative. If there is a word only or alone, in extent of only and alone, you have to use none but or nothing but. Here you have to understand only and alone. Alone is a personal term. It's only used for human being as personal. So if you and only can be used for human being or as non-human. So if you see and only alone in the sentence, you have to understand which what the only and alone is referring to. If it is a man or if it is a human being, you have to use none but, and if it is not human, you have to use nothing but. So I want to show you an example. Example number 1. He lives here alone. Look at this. Here we got alone. So we have to make it negative without changing the meaning of the sentence. So he lives here alone. He none but, because alone is a personal term. So we use none but. He lives here. You see, we use none but for alone. We use none but for alone. And as we used none but for alone, we didn't use alone again. And if we see another example of this term, look at this. Here, only also referring to brother. Brother is a personal term, you know. So you have to use none but here as well. So I have none but brother. So we again use none but because only is also referring to a noun which is a person or a human being. So I have used none but again. So I have the sentence is I have none but brother. we will make a sentence which is not personal or which is not referring to a noun which is not a human being. He needs only a pen. Here, only is referring to a pen. Which I want to ask you, a pen. Here, is a pen a human being? Yeah, you never say it as a human being. So, we don't use it. None but we will use it. Nothing but he needs nothing but a pen. So, you see, we used it, nothing but. So, I want to say that when only or alone is referring to a person, you will use none but when it is not, it is rather it is referring to a noun which is not a personal noun or which is not a human being, you have to use nothing but. Sometimes must can be used to make sentence negative, and if you get must, you have to use cannot but in the lieu of must or cannot help. You can also use, but cannot help is some sort of difficult because cannot help, after cannot help we have to make a sentence verb plus ing or something like this. So we gonna make an example. Example 1. You must learn English. So here we got a word which is included in this chart, and in the lieu of must you have to use cannot but. So we use cannot but. You cannot but. You see, students, we just replace cannot but with must. We made nothing more than that. So we just replace cannot but. I say it again. So you cannot but learn English. You cannot but learn English. But you also can make it transformation without with the use of cannot help as well. So we just replace must with cannot help. But I say you clearly that if you use cannot help, there are some grammatical terms more than cannot but, which is that if you use cannot but, cannot help, if you use cannot help, you have to add an ing with the part after that. So cannot help learning. Cannot help learning. The sentence turned into you cannot help learning English. The meaning is say you must learn English means you have to learn English with bound, and you cannot help learning English means the same. So we will go to the next. In this chart there is another word. I would rather say it's not a word, it's a phrase. And it's every plus noun. You will find many things with every plus noun, like every mother, every child, every son, every teacher, every man, every fan, everything. Okay. So if you see something, if you see a noun with every, you will use there is no in lieu of every. I repeat. If you see every when you are making transformation into affirmative to negative, you will use that every, you will replace there is no with, you will replace there is no with every. And you must get a noun after that every, like every mother, that is, and sentence the word will be there is no mother. Every mobile phone, there is no mobile phone. Every pen, every marker, there is no pen, there is no marker. Every father, there is no father. I say every plus noun and there is no plus noun. So, and there is no plus noun. After that noun, you have to use a part as well. So, what is the sentence? I would rather make a sentence here. Every mother loves her child. That's a sentence. So let's make it negative. Here we got every plus noun. Look at the sentence. here every, and there is a noun as well, and this noun is mother. So we will exchange. There is no with every. There is no. There is no. Look at this phrase. There is no. We have already got and know that means the sentence is going to be a negative sentence. You know. So there is no. We have used it in lieu of every, and you see there is a noun after every. So we will use this noun here referring to this noun. So there is no mother. There is no mother. And you see, after that gap, I have written here but. So I will write also but. There is no mother but loves her child. It's very easy, students. So the sentence has turned to negative from affirmative. Every mother loves her child. There is no mother but loves her child. We'll go to the next. Here we got both. We want to write a sentence first. Ravi Tagore. You know Ravi Tagore? Ravi Tagore. Ravi Tagore. Yeah. Ravi Tagore. You know Ravi. Yeah. Rabindranath Tagore. Ravi Tagore is both a poet and a story writer, you know, Ravi Tagore is both, and Ravi Tagore has a lot of qualities as a storyteller. He's also a poet and a philosopher, you know. So we are going to make it negative sentence. Here we see there are two terms and both and if you find both and in a sentence, we will make it not only but also. So let's make it negative. Negative will remain the same when we make Ravi Tagore, because Ravi Tagore cannot be tense. Ravi Tagore is Ravi Tagore. Ravi Tagore is one piece. So Ravi Tagore is, look at this both. We have to make not only with both. So not only. Ravi Tagore is not only. After this both, there is a noun, a poet. So we will also write this noun, a poet. Ravi Tagore is both poet and we got conjunction and we will extend but also with this conjunction and. So we use but also to, but also will mark it better. You will better understand with this marking. So Ravi Tagore is not only poet but also, and after this and we get another phrase and we have to write as well story writer, and the sentence become a negative one. This one was a affirmative sentence and we have made it successfully a negative sentence. The sentence was Ravi Tagore is both a poet and a story writer, and we make negative and it terms Ravi Tagore is not only a poet but also a story writer. Look, the meaning is the same, but the sentence pattern, the sentence type of sentence are different. It's negative, affirmative, and it has become a negative sentence. And there another. We will go to the another part. There we got 2. It means something which is excessive. The first 2 means something which is excessive, and the second 2 is infinitive 2. In instance these 2 we have to use so, and in instance of this 2, I mean this infinitive, we have to make that plus subject plus cannot. Which is the subject? The subject of the previous sentence, I mean affirmative sentence. Let's make the sentence negative. Term. Okay, the man is too dumb to realize this term. Look at this. 2. Here, 2 is a verb which is just intensifying this dull adjective. This 2 is an verb which is just intensifying. I mean something which is really excessive, which is bigger than that you are actually appearing in your eyes. And on the other hand, these two is an infinity two, because after these two you get here V1. So with this intensifier 2 we will exchange. So let's make it negative. So look at this 2. So and this infinity 2 will turn into that subject. What is the subject? The man. Will you use man again? No, you don't, because we use pronoun in lieu of noun. So the man's pronoun will be he. The man is so dull that he cannot, he cannot, and after this cannot, then obviously a verb realize. He cannot realize this term. The sentence has become a negative one. The man is too dull to realize this term. The man is too dull that he cannot realize this term. I want to say one thing, what I see sometimes in your answer script, that sometimes we cleverly make this verb P2, past, was, but we don't see, when you make it a negative sentence, we don't see, or we don't find that you made this verb past. Yes, students, if this verb was a past verb, you must have to make this verb a past verb as well. So what is the past verb of can? Obviously could. So here would be could not. Mind it. So we'll go to the another part. Here we see a Bengali phrase, সংখ্যা উল্লেখ থাকে। সংখ্যা উল্লেখ থাকে not more than or not less than. If you find a number in the sentence, the number can refer cardinal, ordinal, or age of someone, but not the year or decade. But the number will refer to a cardinal, ordinal, or the age of someone, or the quantity of anything, or the quantity of money, or the sum of money, anything. Is 24. So we make it he is not more than 24. Not more than. You can also use here not less than as well. So we just use not more than or not less than before this সংখ্যা. I think you can understand. And there is another term, as soon as ... comma. Okay? As soon as he saw me, I went and look at the sentence. It's a degree sentence, students. It's a degree sentence, mind it. So let's make it negative. As soon as, here, as soon as is a positive degree. So the positive word is soon. And the comparative of soon is sooner, so we make it sooner. And you know, if it's a comparative sentence, you have to use a than in a comparative sentence. So you use than. Let's make it. So when you are changing as soon as, you have to replace it with no sooner had, and you have to replace comma with that. So let's make it negative. No sooner had will be replaced. No sooner had he saw. Look at this sentence, students. Here we got a new word, had. And you know in the basic grammar that after had be become, you have to use the past participle verb of the main verb. So here the verb is saw, and the past participle of saw is seen. So saw will be seen. So no sooner had he seen me, and we got comma, and we will replace then with comma, and the other part of the sentence will be the same. No sooner had he seen me, then I went. This has been a negative sentence, and it was a affirmative of this negative sentence. And the meaning of the sentence is same, but the types are not same. They are totally different, the affirmative and negative. So students, by this simple chart, I think you can memorize this very easily, and I know most of you students are or have already memorized this because you are starting this from your childhood, and from when you are a student of class 6 or 7, you have started reading this and memorizing this. So you obviously know this chart. This is the class about this chart. We have to know another rules about this transformation of affirmative and negative, and that will be about what we would do if we had to know what we are living in this chart. Such as, he's a good boy, he's a good boy. In this sentence, you don't have any words which is included in this chart. We'll discuss it in the another class, and wait for them. Tata.